Buying a car is one of the largest financial decisions most consumers make outside of purchasing a home. It involves long-term commitments, complex contracts, and multiple moving financial components. Yet, despite its significance, many buyers approach the process with incomplete focus. Every year, millions of car buyers unknowingly make a single mistake that costs them thousands of dollars. It is not choosing the wrong brand. It is not failing to negotiate aggressively. It is not walking into the wrong dealership. The mistake is far more subtle and far more common. They negotiate the monthly payment instead of the total cost. At first glance, this may seem reasonable. After all, most households operate on monthly budgets. Mortgage payments, rent, utilities, subscriptions, everything is framed monthly. So when a salesperson asks, "What monthly payment are you comfortable with?" it feels natural to respond. But that question fundamentally shifts the structure of the deal. When the focus moves to the monthly payment, the overall financial clarity begins to fade. Monthly payments can be adjusted in multiple ways without changing the underlying cost structure in obvious ways. Loan term extensions, interest rate variations, bundled add-ons, and subtle fee adjustments can all reshape the payment while increasing the total amount paid over time. This is where thousands of dollars quietly disappear. Consider how flexible a monthly payment truly is. If a vehicle is priced at $40,000 and the buyer expresses a desire to stay near $600 per month, the dealership has numerous levers to pull. Extending the loan from 60 months to 72 months immediately lowers the payment. Adjusting the interest rate slightly changes the structure again. Including optional products in the financing spreads additional cost across a longer timeline. The buyer feels successful because the payment aligns with expectations, but the total financial commitment often increases significantly. When a loan is extended by just 1 year, interest compounds across a longer period. Even a modest interest rate increase of 1 percentage point can result in thousands of dollars of additional cost over the life of the loan. When combined with extended warranties, protection packages, and administrative fees, the cumulative effect becomes substantial. The key issue is not that these products or structures are inherently wrong. The issue is that the buyer is no longer negotiating the full picture. They are negotiating comfort rather than cost. In financial decision-making, clarity is everything. When clarity is replaced by monthly abstraction, leverage declines. Buyers begin evaluating whether the payment feels manageable, instead of asking whether the total obligation is justified. This shift in focus benefits the dealership's flexibility. Dealerships operate within a multi-layered profit structure. There is front-end gross profit, the margin between invoice and selling price. There is back-end profit, financing markups, service contracts, gap coverage, maintenance plans, and other products. There are manufacturer incentives that may not be immediately visible to consumers. When negotiations center on total selling price, transparency increases. When negotiations center on monthly payment, complexity increases. Complexity favors the more experienced party. Most buyers do not purchase vehicles frequently. Sales professionals handle transactions daily. This experience gap means that any reduction in transparency disproportionately impacts the buyer. The structural mistake becomes even more costly when trade-ins are introduced into the conversation prematurely. Many buyers attempt to negotiate the new vehicle price and the trade-in value simultaneously. This creates numerical blending. A dealer can offer a generous trade-in allowance while maintaining a higher vehicle price, or discount the vehicle while offering less for the trade-in. The net result may appear favorable, but without separating the transactions, the buyer cannot measure true value. Separating each component is essential. First, negotiate the selling price of the new vehicle independently. Second, negotiate the trade-in value independently. Third, review financing independently. When each piece stands alone, the numbers become measurable. When they are blended, thousands can move invisibly. Another dimension of this mistake involves loan duration. The auto industry has gradually normalized longer loan terms. 72-month loans are increasingly common. Some buyers even consider 84-month terms. While these structures reduce monthly payments, they increase long-term exposure. Longer loans mean slower equity accumulation. Vehicles depreciate fastest in their early years. When loan terms extend beyond typical depreciation curves, buyers may owe more than the vehicle's market value for extended periods. This reduces flexibility if the buyer wishes to sell or trade the vehicle early. The focus on monthly affordability obscures long-term positioning. Affordability and financial efficiency are not identical. A payment may fit within a budget while still being inefficient over time. This distinction is where thousands are often lost. Interest rate awareness also plays a critical role. Many buyers rely solely on dealership-arranged financing without comparing external offers. While dealerships often provide competitive financing, they may also include rate markups. Even a small markup can significantly increase total cost across several years. Obtaining pre-approval from a credit union or bank before entering negotiations restores leverage. It establishes a baseline. If the dealership can improve upon that rate, the buyer benefits. If not, the buyer retains an independent option. Again, clarity equals leverage. Emotion further amplifies this structural mistake. Vehicles represent more than transportation. They reflect lifestyle, progress, comfort, and identity. The excitement of sitting in a new vehicle can subtly override analytical caution. Showroom lighting, presentation, and urgency messaging are designed to maintain momentum. When emotional momentum builds, the conversation often returns to the simple question, "Can I make this payment work?" The emotional brain seeks relief. The analytical brain requires detail. When detail fades, cost rises. The professional approach to car negotiation in today's market requires discipline rather than aggression. It requires resisting the urge to collapse complex financial decisions into a single monthly figure. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this each month?" the more powerful question becomes, what is the total financial commitment, and does it align with the vehicle's value? This shift reframes the entire experience. Professional negotiation also includes reviewing the full out-the-door price. This number incorporates selling price, taxes, documentation fees, registration costs, and any additional charges. It represents the true transactional figure. When buyers negotiate only the advertised vehicle price without confirming all additional fees, unexpected costs may appear later in the process. Documentation fees, dealer-installed accessories, and administrative charges can materially impact final totals. Transparency at every step protects margin. There is also strategic value in patience. Many buyers feel time pressure once they are physically present at a dealership. Hours invested in discussion can create psychological commitment. This sunk cost feeling makes it harder to walk away. However, willingness to walk away remains one of the most powerful negotiating tools available. Walking away does not mean confrontation. It means preserving optionality. When a dealership understands that a buyer is prepared to leave if numbers do not align, the dynamic changes. Follow-up. Conversations often contain improved terms. The mistake costing buyers thousands frequently stems from impatience combined with monthly framing. The solution is methodical structure. Negotiate vehicle price independently. Confirm all fees. Separate trade-in discussions. Secure independent financing options. Evaluate loan term length carefully. Review add-on products without pressure. None of these actions require hostility. They require awareness. Car buying has evolved. Inventory conditions are more stable than during extreme shortage years. Dealer markups are less widespread in many segments, yet the structural complexity of financing remains. The industry is designed for flexibility. Flexibility can benefit buyers who understand it. Flexibility disadvantages those who focus only on surface numbers. The most expensive mistake car buyers make is not ignorance. It is misplaced attention. By centering negotiations on monthly payment instead of total cost, Buyers surrender clarity. By blending transaction components, they lose measurement. By prioritizing emotional comfort over financial structure, they reduce leverage. Thousands of dollars often separate a structured negotiation from an unstructured one. The difference is rarely dramatic. It is incremental. It is subtle. And because it is subtle, it persists. But once understood, it is preventable. A professional buyer approaches the dealership with defined structure and calm discipline. They understand that every number has a long-term implication. They measure total obligation, not monthly relief. Car buying should be deliberate, not rushed, not emotionally anchored to a single vehicle, not simplified to a single payment. When you control the structure of the conversation, you control the financial outcome. And in a transaction of this size, control is worth thousands. That is the mistake, and that is how you avoid it.